Good morning, God's people. I am your winner for this week to present to you a short video teaching on signs. As you're well aware, there's Old and New Testament rendition of the Bible. So we want to look at the word sign as the Old Testament understanding and usage of the word, and also look at the New Testament as well. So the word sign represents something which a person or group is characteristically marked, M-A-R-K-E-D. For example, in Genesis 4:15, the Lord set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. So that was a distinguishing or characteristic mark. So mark could also be given as a trustworthy sign or pledge of truth. Where example do we find that in the story of Rahab and the children of Israel, where the scarlet cord was left on a window, and you find that in Joshua chapter 2 verse 12 and 18. Another thing is that a sign would well, I think I wanted to mention to you that maybe the first use of the word sign could be found in Genesis 1:14, where God created lights in the heavens to separate night from day, to mark it, to use it as a mark for seasons, day, and years. Sign could also be a reminder of one's duty. For example, in Genesis 9:12, we find that the rainbow is the token sign of the covenant which God has made between himself and us and every living creature. Sign would also be an attestation, attestation of validity of a prophetic message, though it is not the highest and final test of a prophet. You can find that in Deuteronomy 13:1-5. Exodus chapter 4 verse 1-8 and 17. As an omen or an indication of a future event, you find that in 1 Samuel 14:10. It says, "But if they say thus, come up to us, then we will go up, for the Lord has delivered them into our hands. This shall be a sign unto us." So basically, sign could be an indicator, or if you call it an omen. The Old Testament word used to describe sign is, since I can't pronounce it in the Hebrew, it's almost OT. But when you come to the New Testament, the Greek word for it is Simeon. And so S-E-M-E-I-O-N. A sign or a mark, an indicator or token used to distinguish a person or a thing from others. An example, Judas used a kiss to identify Jesus for arrest. Paul autographed letters to attest to the authenticity of his letters. You find that in 2 Thessalonians 3:17. Sign could also be a warning or an admonition, like a road sign that tells you this is a steep incline, or so be careful how you go down with it, or you could only turn left or you could only turn right. A sign, as we see on the highway, always points to something. But in Matthew 12:38-39, there was a demand for a sign by the Pharisees and teachers of the law. And Jesus cited Jonah in the belly of a fish as a sign to them of what's about to take place in his life. The other thing too could be that a sign will be confirmatory of what God accomplished in the atonement. For example, the sending of the Holy Spirit, his resurrection and his ascension, of course, which fulfill the story about Jonah being in the belly of the fish for 3 days. So A sign will be also a confirmation of supernatural acts of apostolic ministry, such as the gifts of manifestation of the gifts of the Spirit, tongues, and all of those things operating in the church, even as Jesus had promised in his ascension to the disciples. So there's much more we can cover on this topic, but to keep it short within the 5-minute interval, I will leave it as that. Sign as a supernatural act of apostolic ministry, as a sign of divine authority and power, as an authentication. I sure hope it's been short and straight to the point, even though there is more that could be said. Amen.